The last time I ran a half marathon race was almost a full decade ago. At the time, I was only 18 years old and set a time of 1:41 that still stands as my PB. However, a lot has changed since then, so tomorrow I'm returning to the half marathon to hopefully obliterate my PB with a ludicrous goal of 1:17. Will I succeed? And what has changed in the last 10 years to even make this goal a reality? Stick around to find out. But wait a minute. You might be wondering, how does someone go 10 years without racing, only to come back aiming for such a massive improvement? Well, here's the full story.
3, 2, 1, start!
10 years ago, I fell in love with running, but I had no idea how to train properly, I didn't have the right mindset, and I was constantly making rookie mistakes. Whenever I tried to run consistently at least 2 to 3 times a week, I was either getting injured or stopping on the verge of getting injured. Eventually, I felt so heartbroken and disappointed that I just gave up. For a really long time, I truly believed that running simply wasn't for me. Obviously, that turned out to be completely wrong. But what exactly changed? How did I finally manage to strike a breakthrough? It started with cycling, which I picked up as an alternative during university. It filled the void that running had left behind, and being an all or nothing type of guy, this new hobby rather quickly escalated from casual bikepacking trips and the first ever 100-milers to cycling across Europe in 12 days ultras. I developed solid base fitness and really fell in love with the grind. However, as I learned more about proper training, I realized that I might be missing some basic strength. Like my core felt weak and sometimes my back would ache. And I really started to get this feeling that strength is really what is holding me back, even though most of the time I didn't feel weak at all. So I started incorporating consistent core and weight training into my routine. As I said before, I was aerobically fit and I didn't feel weak. But I didn't understand that the body works as a complete system, not just a set of individual parts. If one part of that system is weak or underdeveloped, the whole structure can be compromised. It might sound obvious, but it really took me years to understand, especially because I dreaded going to the gym and was constantly looking for shortcuts to avoid this. Once there was progress, I began to gradually test the waters with running again during the cycling off-season, trying not to set any expectations and just have fun. And it worked. In fact, things went so well that I decided to take the risk and completely transition from cycling to running. Which brings us to today, just 9 months later. Finishing a half marathon in 1 hour, 16 minutes and 27 seconds. But the surprise didn't end there. Not only had I beaten my goal, but I had placed 6th overall and won my first ever prize money as a runner. From giving up entirely to getting paid to run. Well, kind of. The feeling was just unreal. So even though the race was a huge success, I want to tell you about a massive blunder I made just days before the race. So my coach had given me a pretty basic workout, 4 times 5 minutes at race pace. But somehow I misread the task as 4 times 5 kilometers at race pace. So that's basically almost the full distance of the half marathon at race pace with just 4 times 2 minutes rest in between. After this workout, I was completely cooked. Like, sure, it gave me confidence for the race, but I was thinking to myself, like, damn, this was pretty intense for like 3-4 days before the race. I did manage to recover, and of course, in the end, everything was completely fine. But still, I probably could have run faster. I don't know by how much, like, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe? If you have any idea, please let me know in the comments. However, that's kind of besides the point, because I'm just so happy about the result and really excited for the future. I never really expected to be here, but now that I am, it feels like only the beginning. I already have so many goals I want to achieve in the future, so if you want to stay for the journey, please subscribe and like the video. That really does help a lot. But for now, until next time.